Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Raw Ball podcast. It is Tuesday night.
Week
We are
28.
here. We are joined by our cleanup hitter, Davey, as he is available tonight. We are going to be covering all the news and notes going on. A lot of shit happening
Oh
in the
God,
world of
everybody's hurt.
sports.
Yeah.
Uh, it's been a fun weekend for most of us. A not so fun weekend for a few unfortunate souls. But
Hey man, all I gotta say about that is we almost had it.
oh,
Could
you
have been a pass
talking
interference.
about the failed Sean Payton experiment that we are presently dealing with?
Failed. Name another team that hit a 50-yard Hail Mary with 0 seconds left on the clock.
Name another team that had a lead going into halftime against both opponents and lost.
Sean
Yeah.
Payton, 72-1 in the last.
Leads
in
blown
30.
all over the place.
There's been a lot of blowing going on, and nobody has had a smile on their face. That would
Except
probably
for-
be
except for Daniel
the big
Jones.
issue.
A lot
Daniel
of
Jones
blowing
is-
with no happy endings.
Daniel Jones is sitting there going, "Hey guys, what'd I tell you? I told you I deserved $40 million."
Daniel Jones
After-
rocked in that second quarter.
Dude, that second quarter,
Yeah, I
that
mean,
first quarter was all
Daniel
Cardinals.
Jones. Daniel Jones, I gotta say, Danny Dimes did some work. I mean, is he worth the money? But we shall. It's only week 2. We got another 16 weeks of this.
I feel like
But-
that was a wonderful segue, Cap. Is he worth the money? Because we were just talking about this, and
Well, let's go ahead and share it with the world. This is breaking on ESPN.com about 10, 15 minutes before we came on here.
At the top.
Shohei Ohtani has elbow Tommy John surgery. He will be DHing in 2024 and hopefully pitching again in 2025.
Dude, with his mechanics, the way that he fires a baseball, I'm very glad that they're giving him the entire season just to play DH. Because
Well, no, you can't with Tommy John surgery.
it
it's-
takes almost a full season for you to even get back in.
Yeah, it's a minimum 12 to 18 months before you can do your thing again, because after the surgery, it's a good 9 to 12 months, and then you have to build up that that ligament again. So yeah, he will not be pitching again until 2025, but we'll be pulling a Bryce Harper and DHing in 2024. That's essentially what we're looking at this point with Shohei Ohtani.
And
Maddie's.
I think we talked. Did we talk about it last week, or were we talking about it on Sunday? That he had reportedly cleared out his locker in the Angels in the Angels ball house.
He's gone.
He's still under contract though.
He may still be under contract, but all signs are pointing to Ohtani wants out of the Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah, he will be under contract.
Los Angeles.
Well, who the hell wouldn't want out of the
this is
Angels
last
of
year.
Anaheim?
He would be under
So
contract.
is he under contract to the end of this year or the end of 2024?
end of this year.
Okay, so
final game of the season, basically.
So he will be a free agent at the end of the regular season.
Shohei Ohtani, you are a Los Angeles Dodger.
Contract status signed through 2023. So,
or he could be a Boston Red Sox or a New York Yankee. Those are pretty much the only 3 teams that I can.
Oh shit! No,
see.
if we make him a Red Sox, Rafi has to play fucking base.
Well, no, I mean he would DH.
Yeah,
and then
Rafi would DH, and Rafi Devers would have to play the base again. This is a lose-lose situation there.
Devers is a third baseman.
Exactly, and he's not the best one at it.
No, he has. I think he has the most errors for a third baseman this year.
I was about to say, I don't want to see Devers play third base, Cap.
No, Devers should do what Vladdy did: go across the diamond,
Yeah, just
catch
play
the ball,
first base.
go play first base. Yeah, just do.
Well, Davey mentioned in our pre-show possibly the Mets, who sold off at the trade deadline this year, which
if they were to sell
That
off,
one was
I don't see them.
interesting.
Hay
If they
to
were to
me
sell off,
seems
I don't
like
see
an
them buying him.
intelligent individual, and to go to the Mets just to me seems like,
It's like
dude,
going to the Jets.
The only reason I thought the Mets, he's not going to pitch till 25.
right.
So if they were looking to say, okay, we're going to retool a little bit in 24.
Yeah, if they're
That would be
losing,
part
they
of it.
can't blame Otani.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
just get better, hit, and then 25 when you're doing both again, away we go.
Otani tore the ulnar collateral ligament, the UCL, in his right elbow on August 23rd, ending his pitching season. He continued as a batter until September 3rd until an oblique strain.
Okay, so
So he got
the
injured
oblique
twice.
injury. So that's where we heard the oblique injury
Yeah.
taking him out for the season. But it was
So
on top of a team.
the oblique will heal fairly quickly,
Yeah, that shit
but
will heal.
the UCL, if you've ever, there's a great YouTube clip, actually. We should probably post it sometime. Dr. James Andrews, the leading orthopedic surgeon in the United States, he's has his own hospital, actually, in Alabama. And he basically breaks down why UCLs tear. And he says, essentially, anytime a pitcher throws a baseball faster than 80 miles per hour, you are putting undue strain on the ulnar collateral ligament. And whenever you do that over and over and over and over and over again, eventually that ligament can and would potentially snap because of the strain. It's essentially the shock absorber. You can pick up I could grab a baseball off my shelf over there, and whenever you go to toss a baseball, you feel that little tinge, that little twitch in your elbow. That is the UCL. That is the shock absorber that is keeping your elbow together. And when that fucking thing snaps, that is
Your
when
arm goes
TJ is necessary. Yeah.
Your arm goes a little John Lackey.
Yeah, but basically, your arm goes numb from roughly just below your armpit down to your forearm because
John Lackey
that ligament is separated.
Davey, John Lackey got his Tommy John in his time in Boston, right? If I remember correctly.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
John was not quite on Shohei's level of things. Serviceable.
And injuries galore continue because last night on Monday Night Football, we had another injury to a very big time player.
Nick
It was Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns, who they haven't exactly diagnosed the injury yet. We know what it is.
It's fucked.
I don't think you need to be a doctor to look at that play.
No, it's a torn ACL, if not more.
I was about to say guaranteed torn ACL.
Which would be the second time in that same knee that he's torn the ACL. So this is not just season ending. This is potentially career ending.
No, I was about to say. So this is the exact same knee that had a very similar, if not.
Yeah, he tore every ligament he had, and in
2015 when he was
with the Georgia Bulldogs.
He somehow was able to turn that back around, make himself an NFL superstar, just for this to happen again. Two
ACL tears in the course of what are we looking at? 8 years. I mean. We're looking at the only comparison I would possibly throw out would be Garrison Hurst, who
in terms of a running back,
I'm talking about the level of talent that Nick Chubb has, who could overcome this injury twice and still come back to
it would be very insane for Nick Chubb to come back from this and be at any form of production level that he was, because for him to have done it once already in a college level and then proceed to carry that through an NFL career, it's
one ACL tear can ruin a career. 2 ACL tears, I mean,
let alone tearing
Yeah,
every L in the
Yeah.
book. The MCL, the PCL, the eight, like
yeah. I mean, there's only so much, as Jim Ross famously said. There's only so much that the human body can endure, and when you tear your knee up twice like that, you're
He'll be lucky if he
and
can walk on it again.
I'm being well. He can be able to walk on
oh,
it
he'll be
again,
he'll be able to
Walk on
walk.
it.
But I was about
but
to say, just like
the a
the
starting NFL running back. I mean,
oh no, just like the
it's
old Sid, his knee's gonna hurt anytime it rains.
yeah. I
Like,
mean, you have that kind of injury not once but twice. Uh,
within 10 years,
You're
it's
you're not doing the same things you did prior.
once you can come back from it,
Awesome.
twice
so the
you're pretty much you're making a bargain with the gods that Lady Luck finds you.
so there's one player that in sports that I've heard of that had the old double ACL tear and was basically playing a sport with no ACLs. Juwan Blair, who got drafted to the Spurs back in like 2008, 2009, was one of the bigger names prospects for basketball. Well, he had torn ACL number 2 at the end of college. Once he got into the NBA, he was basically playing without ACLs, and his career
Yeah,
was never the same.
yeah. I mean, it's
Ever.
you can do it once, but to do it twice, you you're asking for a lot there, and it really sucks because I mean I have there's no love lost for the Cleveland Browns with me,
Oh no,
but
we're glad to see Deshaun Watson got his comeuppance
but
that game.
for someone like Nick Chubb, who pretty much, as we've seen the news come out
He was hope for Cleveland.
in the last few, well, no, just how glowingly every single teammate talked about him.
Oh, dude, yeah,
Yeah,
Chubb is known as a phenomenal person.
Yeah, and when you Davey can back me up on this because of his Twitter expertise. When it's tough for anybody on your own team to say a bad thing about you or to not just be absolutely dejected and distraught that you're gone, that tells you a lot.
Yeah,
That that
that's
this
rare.
person means more to your team than just what they can do on the field, which Chubb did a lot on the field.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah.
when
But he had
they mean
dedicated
that
the
much to you as a
season.
person, as a teammate,
He dedicated the season to Jim Brown too.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah, when cut short.
I hate that I keep being right about these things, but I kept
Oh
saying in
no.
the
So
preseason in our rankings, Saquon, Chubb, don't touch them.
it's
Yeah,
this is again a perfect segue into our next topic, which is both Saquon and Nick Chubb got these injuries on the same week that the NFL is filing a grievance against the Players Association for there were reports from a whistleblower that the Players Association was telling running backs to feign injuries or, to hold out. They are trying to reset the market for running backs, like the wide receivers and tight ends before them. And now the NFL, this week, it's been reported that they are filing grievances against the Players Association for, these losses. And these injuries just so happen to happen on that week that the grievances happen. Now, I'm not saying that Saquon faking a high ankle sprain or
Well, no, it's not even a high ankle with Saquon. They're saying it's given the Giants have called him a fast healer for whatever that may be worth.
he's
They're
got that
thinking
Wolverine blood.
Saquon is going to be out 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But this is not a Chubb level, but
No,
yes,
but
to
yeah.
your point, Matthew. Yes,
to Cap's point, saying, hey, these running backs are getting tread on them. They're, getting closer to that point that Cap says, well, fuck. This last week has kind of proven Cap's point because
typically it's either
didn't play.
age 28 or 1,800 career touches. That counts carries, receptions, whenever a player hits one and or both of those marks, statistically,
Yeah,
Oh no.
and that is true, and that's true across multiple sports.
Yeah, like the longer
Like,
you are active, like
longer you
the
go,
the focal point
yeah. Like in hockey, when you hit the 1,000 game mark, generally your production starts to
drop drastically.
Yeah.
feel off, right? It's a lot of miles, right? Hockey's
Hell,
like
dude, even some of
hockey's
the
a rough
best
sport.
basketball players,
Yeah,
become better, offensive minds as opposed to scorers in their later years. Like LeBron James, without a doubt, is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But he's also
yeah,
able to find anybody on the court
yeah.
almost at any time. Just
Statistically, historically, 1,800 career touches or age 28 is when running backs start to peter off in terms of production.
and,
I said this
and
year, and Austin Eckler, your guy
he was out this
Matthew,
week. He was out this week.
who well, no, he played, but he got hurt. But I said Eckler's got maybe another year because he's getting pretty close to that. He's 29,
Yeah,
but he's got the touches. So
but
it's
when it comes to Chubb was even one of those guys that was getting close to those numbers. But even you were like, Chubb might be, the outlier. And now we saw,
yeah, because there's so much tread gone off those tires, especially with that previous injury. I mean,
and
you
now with this, like, when I was explaining it to someone, I was like, those like elementary art projects where you get a piece of chewing gum and you stick two popsicle sticks together. You basically took one of those popsicle sticks and you just folded it in onto the other. Like
Oh,
this
you
is,
said that in the chat.
yeah. I explained it that way all day too. Like this is one of the gnarliest knee injuries I may have ever seen, and I've seen
and
so many injuries. I saw
Oh
Alex
yeah.
Smith break his leg. I've rewatched the Theismann leg break
yeah.
countless
and,
times.
and you know
This
who he
was,
may come back more resembling? Priest Holmes.
dude. If he comes back and has a Priest Holmes run, I will first
No,
ballot Hall of
no,
Famer.
no,
Well,
not
I was saying more of Garrison Hurst because of the horrendous injury he had, and he came back and was relevant for a couple of years. But
Davey, I remember Priest
yeah.
Holmes in his early years beating
So
the dog shit out of the Broncos.
Priest in,
I mean,
in
yeah, I mean, Priest was a
2003.
beast. Listen,
Yeah,
yeah, can't deny that.
yeah, he
Priest
went
was a
from
beast.
14, 20 yards down to 892, 451. And then he hurt his spine, and then he was pretty well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just to me having that same knee torn apart twice. You're not that it can't happen. I mean, modern medicine has come so far so fast. Not that it can't happen, but we're looking at least a year or two before he's even going to be a relevant thing again. And by that time, he's going to be what, 30, 29, 30. I mean,
Yeah. And when Priest
which,
had that fall off,
which is young, but for a running back
that's
is,
old for a running back. And when
yeah.
I'm
Priest had
just
that fall off,
waiting for Derrick
Priest was
Henry to
31.
prove Cap wrong.
That was his age 31 season that he.
Well, Dev, as I told you Sunday, don't put all your eggs in one basket by picking nothing but Ravens. Derrick Henry he's defying odds at this point because with his age and then he's either going to be Frank Gore or he is going to suffer some kind of, God forbid, some kind of because the Titans are driving on bald tires. The wire is starting to show. What was it? Davey can remember the line in Jaws. The wire is showing. The wire is showing. That is the tread on Derrick Henry's tires right now.
They're still
And he's
going though.
29 now. He'll turn
Hey
30 this year.
guys,
Derrick
Yeah.
Henry.
I can save this for fantasy talk whenever we get to it, but
Well,
Really?
let's get to before we, you two don't make me have to separate you two again. Damn it!
oh
I've
no,
done that. I've done that enough.
you're not gonna be happy when you find out either, Cap.
What? What am I
How?
just
I done got the Sun God.
so?
I got Amon-Ra on top of Diggs and the other.
Well, I'm still the highest projected team in the league by 10 points this week, so all of you can go fuck yourselves.
Hey man,
I'm the first in the league.
Projections mean nothing on game time.
Well, let's wait till bye weeks and injuries start happening, young man.
What do you mean when they start happening? We're just talking about injuries.
Well, I'm talking about injuries too.
Oh, my team.
You know
Yeah.
who has the most points scored in the league? This guy. That's who. 247.45.
Actually, I was checking out your schedule, Dave, and you've had probably the softest schedule of anyone in the league. You basically played no one.
A soft serve schedule, so to speak.
Yeah, you basically had the McDonald's ice cream machine soft serve on the cone. You haven't had to play anybody yet.
I got my ass beat.
Well, let's before we let's get into.
I'll change my team name to Dairy Queen this week.
Let's save our dick measuring for when we get into the fantasy aspect at the end of the show. Let's go through the NFL games. Week
Tom
2.
Brady's still on the waiver wire.
Not for long.
Not for long.
So Thursday night we had the Vikings and Eagles. What was this shit show?
It is the prime example of why primetime Thursday night games fucking suck.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we
Coming off of 3 days rest,
dude,
this is why Thursday games need to fucking go.
If we don't have much to stand on, let's look at the fact that week 1, Devon's running back DeAndre Swift, I think got maybe like 40, 50 yards. Week 2, off of 3 days rest, that defense against the Eagles let DeAndre Swift rack up 175 yards.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm all for high-scoring games.
Kirk Cousins put up 364 and 4.
I want good
in that
football, and that was just bad football on Thursday.
Minnesota couldn't stop the run, and they didn't run. All the pass.
Madison got 9 touches, I think, 8 or 9 touches. It was minuscule. Well, the fantasy experts said, well, the game script went against his, fantasy production.
28 yards for 3.5 yards per.
Yeah, I mean, the game script went away. No, the Eagles just have a fucking phenomenal run defense, and they also have a pretty damn good offense, which pretty much shut down the Vikings running the fucking football. That's what happened. But I'll get into running backs who have disappointed me big time as we get later into this particular segment, because I have issues with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Najee fucking Harris. I will get into that shit. Trust me, Cap has venom to spew.
I don't think your issue there is with Najee. I think your issue there is with the person that was getting booed out of Acrisure on Monday. The fans at halftime were chanting, "Fire Matt Canada."
Well, he's a terrible offensive coordinator.
Exactly. How do you not know how to use Najee Harris properly?
We're going to get into that, Matthew. We're going to get into that. So let's get into the Sunday games, and just because I'm going off ESPN because I'm a Raider fan, it has that listed the first game. Raiders-Bills. The Raiders got their ass handed to them.
You started off hot.
Neither.
No, we didn't. We didn't start off hot.
You guys were like 10-0.
You guys started off with the Devontae Adams touchdown like early in the game.
Yeah, it was 7-0, and then we proceeded to give up 38 points. We suck.
I will say,
just like he said in our chat earlier, eventually Las Vegas is going to get a real football team.
None of those interceptions that Garoppolo threw, none of those 2 interceptions were on Garoppolo.
3.
No, it was only 2.
Especially the first one.
Yeah, he threw 3.
Bounced off somebody's head.
Yeah, the first one bounced off of somebody. The second one, Matt Milano literally just reached around the tight end and was like, "No, this ball is now mine."
But still, Jimmy G, the certified G, had a 68.9 quarterback rating. That ain't going to get it done.
Which is pathetic.
Yeah. 16-24 for 185 and a TD, 2 interceptions.
Oh, only 2. Well, it felt like 3.
Yeah,
because
like I said, I'm pretty sure
every time I was watching Red Zone, oh, Bills touchdown. Oh, Bills touchdown. Hey, Dave, what's going on? Oh, hey, Cap, Bills touchdown. That was basically my Sunday. The first half of the day was Davey telling me how pathetic my Raiders were playing.
Well, no, I wouldn't say how pathetic you were playing. I would say that the Bills are starting to get more on form. Week 1 was not the Buffalo Bills. This week
they played a great defense week 1. They played a bunch of shit heels week 2, and they did their job.
I mean, to be fair, you guys had a 30-something yard pass completion to somebody that I thought the Raiders picked up off the street.
Yeah, we didn't even know who he was.
Trust me, I picked the Raiders to win 3 games this year. Now, I may be off on that by a game or 2, but trust me, we are not going to be anything this year. Believe me.
Has anyone been right with the predictions for? You have the predictions we have for our teams.
Oh yeah, how Devin's like, how are we all looking?
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far though, Cap. Like the Raiders will be something because bad is something. It's not nothing. So there's that.
Okay, so let's. So I had Oakland going 3-14. Matty had we had Denver, or no, these are just. This is what I had. So I had Oakland 3-14. I had Denver 7-10. Baltimore 10-7.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I still don't see Baltimore going 10-7. I will say, you guys, they were the other morning game, so hop over to Baltimore winning again.
Yeah,
I didn't really get to see much of that one.
We'll get to. Give me just a second. So we got the Falcons beating the Packers 25-24. The Falcons are 2-0.
Yeah,
which is weird.
Looked really good. Jordan Love still looked really good in that game. It was just a matter of bad play calling because they were having Jordan Love do plays that at the end of the game, they were basically just trusting him to fuck it, do what Aaron Rodgers used to do and send it 80 yards downfield.
Which Jordan Love is not capable of yet.
That is not Jordan Love. That's not in his wheelhouse.
Packers are 1-1. They're okay in that division. We'll get to the Lions, and we already mentioned the Vikings are 0-2. So the Packers are in a good spot.
The NFC South, if I'm not mistaken, there's 3 teams that are 2-0, right?
I'll have to take a look at the standings.
You continue. I'll get the standings up real quick.
Okay, so we got Ravens beating the Bengals 27-24. Ravens are 2-0. Bengals are 0-2. This is one of the bigger talking points. It's not so much the fact that the Ravens won. Sorry, Dev. It's
really is
the fact that the Bengals are starting at 0-2 for the second year in a row, but Joe Burrow is not
looking good.
There's something wrong here. Like and then they're saying this week we don't know if he's going to play this Sunday.
I wouldn't.
There was talk today on the NFL Network.
Yeah,
it's like should they just say okay, shut down for 4 weeks, get better, come back, make a run.
Which is totally possible. It is totally possible. Teams have totally gone insane runs at the end of the season just to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
the Bengals did it themselves whenever they made it to the Super Bowl.
And in that division,
and the NFC South, by the way, the Buccaneers, the Saints, the Falcons are all 2-0. And
no, the NFC North, you got Bengals, Ravens, Steelers.
I was talking
Browns.
NFC. I was talking NFC South for the 2-0, the 3-2 and the 0-2. Because
the Ravens. I'm sorry to shit on Deb here. The Ravens are good, but how do I say this?
They still don't have.
I need to see more. I need to see more to believe.
I get that same impression with them every year.
Well, I get the same impression.
Well, for the love of God, Davey and I agree on something. Sweet Jesus, Amesus, someone circle the calendar.
I get the exact same.
Down.
I get the exact same feelings about the Ravens that I do about the Broncos every year. What's the over/under on players getting hurt before the end of the season?
Yep.
Well, your running back, you've already lost your starting running back. Odell hurt his ankle,
Yeah.
which I knew we all knew was going to happen. Odell can't stay healthy. Lamar, as much as I love Lamar Jackson, I really no bullshit, Dev. I love Lamar Jackson. I love watching him play, but facts are facts. History is history. He cannot stay on the field.
And
So
I hope he does.
But when he did,
right now, Baltimore is doing really well. But let's see what happens because.
let me point out
Go ahead, Matthew.
the 1 year that Lamar Jackson did play an entire season, he won unanimous MVP.
Yes, he did. But can he play an entire season?
That's what we're looking at. Is he going
That's
to
what
play
I'm
a full
hoping
season?
for.
Because if he does, he very well could fucking.
Dev is on his knees every night doing Stations of the Cross and praying the rosary that Lamar Jackson stays healthy.
Like Lamar is an elite talent because
Yes.
of the way he plays.
I
And
wouldn't
he's
go
a
that
huge-
far, boys. I
And
wouldn't
he's
go
a
that
huge
far.
injury risk because of the way he plays.
Yes.
They
He,
tie
no,
together.
yeah, he is an elite talent. He has a rocket for an arm. He can
He can
run the
block.
ball. He has developed so much as a passer from his rookie season to now.
Yeah.
He is a phenomenal elite talent. But again, to what Davies, God damn it, these
No,
cameras.
you got the good angle.
The old guy, what Davey said, what he said is absolutely true.
Vintage, by the way, is the correct term.
Vintage.
Some-
You are
someone-
just like a great wine. You are a rare vintage, Davey.
A real
Acquired taste. There we go.
Lamar, and we'll get it to Anthony Richardson here in a little bit as we go through the afternoon slate from Sunday. Lamar, phenomenal talent, but I'm trying. I don't know if I quite have a comparison. I keep thinking of Steve Young and all the concussions he got. I just, it's like, okay, yes, Lamar has all the tools to be an elite NFL quarterback year in, year out.
except for a distanced arm. He's got accuracy. He just doesn't have distance.
I think he's got a far better arm distance wise than people want to admit.
It's all
However,
what I've seen.
he's never had that deep threat long term. He really hasn't. Hollywood Brown wasn't it. Odell Beckham, as much as Odell was great 5 years ago, is not that same Odell. He's got great Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews.
Zay was the one that we had our deep threat pass to.
He has weapons. Lamar has weapons, and I think the new OC, the way I've seen the offense, I'm loving what I see. But we're 2 weeks in. We're 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
I need to see this be done. Come back at me about say week 6, week 8, and let's see where the Ravens are at, and then I can be a little bit more for sure, either in my positive or negative. I love Lamar. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. A lot of great things can happen with him, but let's just see what happens. So next game, Seahawks-Lions. God damn, did Jared Goff play his ass off and still got beat.
This
was a back and forth.
440 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 inty, and still lost the fucking game. Now, let's Maddie and Dev were paying a lot of close attention to this game Sunday. There was a lot of laundry.
Oh, dude!
Yes, there was.
Refs were featured, to quote Tom Grossi.
This was the first game of the week that me and Devin were sitting there going, "This is ref ball. This is that Lions Seahawks game."
You take over, Maddie. I'm going to drop some ballot.
No worries. This Lions Seahawks game started with laundry and it ended with laundry. There were so many yellow flags in this game that me and Devin were contemplating doing a drinking game for how many times we saw a flag.
It was bad.
Take a drink every time a flag ends up on the field.
And that would have been every other play.
Oh, you two would have been hammered.
There was 6 drinks there would have been 6 drinks in a matter of 6 minutes. There were 6 flags within the first 6 minutes of the game.
That was kind of like, because we'll talk about it with a couple of the other games, like the Bears game. There was a whole lot of laundry in that game. There was just, as
those
Cap
two
said,
quarterbacks, Geno Smith and Goff, they both cleared 300 yards.
Yeah, they totaled for like 780, didn't they?
Yeah, 328 for Geno, 323 for Goff.
So yeah, that totals like that's about 650 that those two totaled for.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't a bad game, but the referees definitely made themselves present throughout the game.
But even in defeat, like Detroit can take a lot of positives from that game. Like they put up numbers across the board.
It's the exact same thing as last season too. Like they were the gunslingers of the NFL last year. Jared Goff,
and they will be this year too.
Yeah, Jared Goff is putting up points, and he is going to at least lead this Lions team to maybe the highest point total they've had in NFL in their history.
Yeah, and Montgomery went out in that too, didn't he?
Yep, Montgomery got hurt too.
That's another running back that went out. I think
so. They're going to have to rely on Gibbs now, rookie.
Which Cap said, Jahmyr Gibbs is someone to look at.
Bada bingo.
Which, by the way, Jahmyr Gibbs is probably going to be on the anytime touchdown parlay for this upcoming week because there's no way he's not getting featured.
Are we 0-2 with bets as well?
What's up?
Our players have gone to shit the first 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, no. This first 2 weeks, Maddie's bets have not been hitting, but that's the best part about football. We've got 18 weeks of this shit.
Well, with Magamo popping on board, let's get into Chargers Titans. Is there a more upset suicide watch fan base right now than the Los Angeles Chargers? Because this team,
the New York Jets.
The Chargers have looked phenomenal in both games and still lost. And it's
Herbert.
Is Brandon Staley going to survive this season, or is he going to be fired?
If the Chargers don't at least go conference game, Brandon Staley is fucking gone.
I mean, they so far have scored, 34? They scored 34 last week. They scored 24 this week. So the Chargers have scored 58 points so far this year, which comes out to 29 per game and are 0-2.
Yeah.
This roster can't win a game unless they score 40 points.
The point differential is only -5, so they're not getting blown out. They're just. Yeah. So I think the Chargers will be fine. Plus, they were missing Eckler too. If they had Eckler, they won.
They missed Eckler for the last half, maybe last third of the game. I mean, it wasn't as if he was gone the whole game.
No, Eckler was out for week 2.
Eckler never played a snap in that game.
Yeah,
really?
He was out. He got injured week 1.
Yeah, Eckler was ruled out before week 2 started. Devin sent me that message ahead of time, so that's why I had Big Boy Pants Walker at
Eckler had an injury, and he was dealing with a personal issue on top of it. So they just
Speaking of personal injury, we haven't talked about this yet, but it's still pertaining to LA. Stetson Bennett has been taken off of the LA Rams. That was the quarterback.
And Cam Akers, Sean McVay said they are going to be trading him. Everyone's wondering, why is Kyron Williams getting all these snaps? Sean McVay confirmed today they are going to be trading Cam Akers.
Oh yeah,
so things with Cam and the Rams just did not work out.
and there was chatter today, Cam possibly to Cleveland. Kareem Hunt is also good.
Kareem Hunt is in.
Kareem, he's familiar with the system.
Kevin Stefanski
That's why I did not put in a huge bid on Jerome Ford in our fantasy league because
he's not going to be the featured back there.
He's not. He might be the feature back for 1 week, but they are immediately.
As I typically do during football season, when I'm taking my morning shit, I'm talking to my brother and we're just talking about football. And I was like, should I put in a bid on Jerome Ford? He was like, dude, they're either going to bring in Cam, they're going to re-sign Kareem. He's not worth a big bid. We did have Team Johnson this week throw $75 down to pick up Gabe Davis and Kirk. What's it? Oh, fuck.
Gibson?
No, the Jaguars wide receiver.
Oh, Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk, yeah. Team Johnson threw out $75. I threw out $5 on each of those guys. He threw out 75 and 25.
Yeah, he
50 and 25. Yeah. I like him, but I don't love him.
Yeah. And if you burn through that money, like I did in the baseballs, you are fucked.
Wait, what is that about burning through money? Because I'm pretty sure I burnt through most of my money for a time.
Mine was
no, your free agent budget, not your draft, your free agent budget.
Yeah.
At that point in time, I didn't even know how to use the free agents on ESPN Fantasy, so I'm good. I'm glad I've learned how to use it.
Matty's learning on the job.
Yeah.
Same. I haven't spent a lot of money on my free agents at all.
So our next game, Bears and Buccaneers. Buccaneers won 27-17. Bears Nation is absolutely shitting their britches.
RAWBall 2.0 for week 2. We had more laundry.
Well, see, here is why I am not worried or upset about this, because the Bears Nation was just all off season. We got Justin Fields. We got DJ Moore. Blah, blah.
Is the Justin
baby steps? Watch What About Bob? Baby steps. I'm doing the work. I'm baby stepping. I'm not a slacker. The Bears don't want to do baby steps. They want to take huge gains when they ain't got the team to make huge gains.
Oh yeah, because
baby steps.
They're the reason that
I'm sorry to yell, Magums.
They're the reason that the Justin Field MVP, talk even started. Like.
I don't dislike Justin Fields. I like him just fine. Jesus Christ, give this kid. He hasn't even played a full season as a starter yet.
And he didn't do bad. But there's already
he didn't do bad.
No, there's already people in Chicago though burning his fucking jerseys and shit. Like
he did not play. He has not even been a starter for a year. Give this kid some time to fucking marinate. Jesus Christ. Bears are so starved for success. They may, apart from the Lions, they may be the most starved team for success in the NFL because they have not really done shit since they went to that Super Bowl with Rex Grossman and got annihilated by Peyton Manning. That was the last time they did anything worth a flying fuck. The Bears fans are I'm a White Sox. Trust me, I know Chicago fans. They are temperamental motherfuckers.
Mother fluffers.
Mother fluffers.
Yeah, there's a new one. Mother fluffers. Chicago fans are temperamental sons of bitches, and they will start casting stones quick.
Chicago people are diehard, and we know this with wrestling as well. Like, if you are from Chicago, you support Chicago.
Well, yeah, I'm a Chicago guy. The White Sox are my team.
But
if I had to pick a hockey team, I would probably pick the Blackhawks.
But the Bears' problem is not in Justin Fields.
No, it's not.
Justin Fields, we were just talking about this with Lamar. Justin Fields has all the tools to be that quarterback for Chicago. Okay, maybe his arm is nowhere near like Jalen Hurts or Lamar's accuracy. But
no, it's not.
But
I wouldn't expect it to be at this stage.
But
he has two weapons. He has Cole Kmet. He has DJ Moore. He has a lackluster offensive line, no real running game behind him from what I can see, and the defense is Swiss cheese. So why are you blaming this poor kid who's doing everything he can within his own power right now at the present? It's like, Jesus Christ, you assholes, chill out and have a Geno's Deast.
Oh, I completely forgot. We were talking about the Chargers just the game before, and we completely forgot to talk about the fact that they sacked Tannehill 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
Herbert threw over 300 yards with 2 tutties and no interception. And
still couldn't win.
Still lost.
Yeah. They made Ryan Tannehill their bitch.
Dude,
he may have 2 assholes at this point. That is how hard they fucked him.
Dude, every time they hopped over to that game on Red Zone, both me and Devin are like, is Tannehill about to get sacked? Yes, he is.
When you take 5 sacks in one game, okay, 1 sack, fluky. 2 sacks, okay, we need to take a look here. 3 sacks, we got problems.
Bosa himself had
5 sacks, you, even against, I'm talking any NFL defense, if your offensive line is that fucking pathetic that you give up 5 sacks in a game, you got issues to address.
There was
one, maybe. Okay, 1. Okay, 2. All right, 3. All right, I'm getting a little worried. 4, 5. Okay, you got fucking issues.
There was a play from the shotgun where Tannehill had the ability to snap the ball, look at progression 1, look at progression 2. And
that was the first or second one on Sunday.
Halfway between progression 2, he had to turn his shoulder because he saw Joey or Nick Bosa coming full speed at him.
Literally, from the time the ball was snapped to the time his ass hit the ground was roughly like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Oh, fuck, sacked. There was no protection. Yeah. And I don't like Ryan Tannehill, but Jesus Christ, I mean, I felt bad for the son of a bitch.
The only reason I brought that up is because we were seeing the same thing in Chicago. Justin Fields was running around like his life fucking depended on it because his offensive line was wanting him dead.
And he's been sacked 8 times this year.
Tannehill
so that's 4 times per game. So that tells you what I just said. Your offensive line needs work. 1 sack, averaging 1 sack a game, okay. 2, all right, not too worried. But like 3, 4, 5, okay, you got issues.
When the entire front line of a 3-4 defense can have a sack in a game, you are fucked.
Like every
I had a weird thought this morning. Well, go ahead, Dave.
Oh, to say every time he goes back to do a pass, he's getting sacked 12% of the time. He does that in the first 2 games.
Yeah, if you're getting sacked on 12% of your dropbacks, you got issues.
They have to have.
I will say this: the Buccaneers don't look. They're 2-0. Baker Mayfield. I had this thought this morning. Again, I have my best thoughts while I'm taking my morning shit. I had this thought today. Is Baker Mayfield maybe kind of the next Ryan Fitzpatrick that he just goes to a team and makes them better somehow?
No, this is the Baker Buccaneers. You guys are about to witness the strength of street knowledge. Baker got tackled up on them streets in Arkansas. He knows a thing or two about the rough streets.
Oh, yeah. Rashad White looked good. Mike Evans looked good. The defense has been playing well. The Buccaneers don't look like they missed Tom Brady all that much. They're 2-0 in a shitty division.
Yeah, they can easily win that division.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Tampa right now because somehow, for some reason, whatever they're doing is working.
Since we are talking about it again, I can actually bring it up because I do have it saved. That NFC South division is looking very similar to how it was a couple seasons ago.
Not good.
No, it's not looking good. But there's 3 teams that are undefeated, and they
I think
possibly have the lowest win percentage in the entire NFL, and still have 3 teams probably gunning for a while.
When I see standings like that, I instantly think, okay, I'm looking at quarterbacks. Who has the better quarterback play?
Okay.
I see.
Name off the quarterbacks real quick for me, Cap.
Okay, so
we got Saints too.
We got, what is it, Ritter for the Falcons, Carr for the Saints, Mayfield for the Bucks, and then a rookie, was it Stroud?
It's
Not Stroud.
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young for the Panthers.
Who, by the way, had to have his running back put him into position on a shotgun play.
I look at this board and I say, okay, if I'm betting money, if I'm being Maddie here, and I'm betting how this division is going to end out, I'm saying it's going to be Saints, Bucks, Falcons, Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers
just
are not
because
out of that
Carr is the most experienced and best quarterback in this division. I think Baker finishes a close second, and then we've got the other two.
Yeah,
that's
the Falcons are only up at the top spot right now due to circumstance, because Desmond Ritter's quarterback play is something to be desired. He did pretty good this week. I don't think we talked too much about that, but Desmond Ritter did pretty good this week.
Well, talking about games that could have been what they were not, Chiefs Jaguars.
Oh fuck! Do we have to talk about this game?
What the fuck happened in a game that we thought was going to be the game of the week? This turned into, a Law's brother taking their Monday morning constitution.
This is the game that ended up becoming the Lions Seahawks. Like this.
No, that game was entertaining. This game was not.
That's what we expected from this game, was it to be the Lions Seahawks game, like a 34-28 differential. Like we were expecting high scoring. We were expecting Lawrence and Mahomes to just dice up the defenses, because let's face it, Jacksonville doesn't have the best defense. KC never has really had the best defense.
They did have Chris Jones back,
and he got a sack. And Travis Kelce was back. He got a tutty.
Yeah, in the blank space.
But I think the story from the Jaguars this year, all season, is going to be people keeping their eyes on Calvin Ridley. That unfortunately, I think he's going to be the big story for the Jaguars this year. It's not even going to be them trying to get back to the playoffs.
Yeah, he won the big story Sunday. He had 2 catches for 32.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
So he was pretty invisible.
The Jags, to agree with Dave, which I rarely do but often have to, take that for what you will. Rarely do but often have to. The story of the Jags this year is going to be Trevor Lawrence in his second year developing, because he has got weapons. He has got Calvin. He has got Kirk. He has got ETN. He has
don't they have another running back as well? Evan Ingram,
if he has his coffee that morning.
He's been drinking his coffee.
Yeah, I was about to say Devin's sitting there going.
This team is going to ride or die on the relationship and the progression of Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson as that quarterback head coach combination.
It is looking really good though for them.
Trevor Lawrence, hey. You all know my thoughts on Trevor Lawrence.
Sexiest man in the NFL.
Sexiest man in the NFL. I wish I had his hair. I don't, but hey,
using Pantene.
I got to get off the Tresemme. But I think literally this team it's sort of even their opponent. I kind of hate to do this comparison, and Dave, you may back me. I think Dave may back me up on this. This team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, reminds me a lot of the Chiefs, because we know the Chiefs are Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, and then there's everybody else. The Jaguars, to me, are Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence, and then you have the cast. It's all going to depend on that dynamic and getting things to click to where it doesn't matter who's doing well, who's doing poor, it's going to be that quarterback, head coach, mix.
They do have a similar dynamic. That is a good comparison. Lawrence is not in Mahomes' category, mind you.
No, he's Mahomes light in the fact that he's got a really good arm. He has mobility in the pocket. He's got similarly talented weapons, minus Travis Kelce. To me, it seems like and let's not forget, Doug Peterson was an assistant under Andy Reid. He is an Andy Reid clone. So this is not too far-fetched of a scenario. This, to me, is it felt like it was the same team kind of playing each other. One team got the breaks because they're that team, but
And
the Jags
Jags
this year is going to come down to Lawrence and Peterson. Go ahead, Davey.
and the Jags are in the right division to really take off. Or like,
they have no competition.
Tennessee is not doing anything. Houston's not doing anything. And Indy depends on what Richardson does in his first year, but it's
if he can stay. He's been hurt twice.
Yeah,
2 games into his career, he's been hurt twice. Which is our next game to discuss. But any final thoughts on KC and Jacksonville?
Before we get to that, really weird news came out before the game was that Travis Kelce and his new boo, Taylor Swift, showed up together at Arrowhead, which very, very interesting, but that's not what I want to point out. I'm using that as a segue into something I just saw.
Let's hope that Taylor Swift is somehow a succubus that ruins Travis Kelce.
Well, hey, we might be seeing a very familiar, popular face at Ravens games coming soon. Reports are that Odell Beckham Jr. and Kim Kardashian are seeing each other.
They are fucked.
Oh, you heard me, Devin.
Did I hear that right?
Odell Beckham Jr. and Kim
That
K.
team is fucked.
That actually is a pairing that makes perfect sense.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's a match made in hell, and I love it.
I don't like this.
I
told you Sunday, don't put your fantasy eggs in one basket. You were trying to trade for Andrews, kid. Don't do shit.
I wanted Andrews this season. Yeah, the thing that's my issue with Odell isn't even his game. It's him being with Kim K and his ego.
It's his ego.
Not to mention 2024 Royal Rumble winner Nia Jax.
Okay, a little bit sidetrack. Current betting odds winners for the Royal Rumble. For the women's, it's Liv Morgan, like I had predicted earlier this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for the men's, it's without a doubt Gunther.
Oh, so we're going Nia Jax on that one.
No.
I would not.
Gunther is far and above number 2, which, by the way, is Cody Rhodes.
If Gunther wins the Royal Rumble, I will be very happy. We know he won't dethrone Reigns because Reigns will carry that title until I am in my grave. But I will be happy with Gunther winning the Rumble.
Just so that Samantha can belt
I just want to see Nia Jax win the Rumble so I can watch Dev's head actually explode off of his shoulders.
We damn near had an aneurysm when she ruined the number 30 spot this last year.
No, I mean, and it was such a heartwarming moment. I mean, Dev was in tears. He was hugging us. He was crying. It was like me at the end of the men's Rumble when Cody won, and I was just hugging Maddie. I was like so happy I got to see a Rumble and go to WrestleMania. Dev was the same whenever Nia Jax came out of that tunnel. It was so heartwarming and touching. It was like I doubt the birth of Devin's firstborn could possibly equal the emotion that we saw him have when Nia Jax came through that tunnel in San Antonio.
In 100% full honesty, the pop that you heard when Nia Jax came back to Raw, like the massive amounts of boos that y'all heard, those weren't piped in. I can guarantee you those weren't piped in. Because when we were in San Antonio, whenever she entered at number 30, 5 seconds before the fucking clock even finished, the amount of thunderous, like crowd...
It was pretty raucous, and we were down on the floor, so we were feeling it from
an earthquake. Yeah, how loud and like how guttural the boos were coming from that stadium.
Nobody wanted that shit.
And that's not the boos of wow, she got heat. It's like
she's got heat. It's wow.
There's good heat, and then there's go home heat.
Yeah, it's like why are you here?
Like hell, dude. Even Dom got a good reception in San Antonio as Dirty Dom. Whenever he came out with the mask, he got a good fucking heel reception.
Yeah, that was heel heat. Nia was go home heat.
Everyone wanted to go home.
I mean, and Nia may win the Rumble, just like I said in our chat earlier, just by default. She may just fucking injure every women's wrestler on the roster.
It's already reported that Raquel and Rhea got hurt during that segment.
Rhea had scheduled time off. She's home.
Okay.
She's fine.
Oh, yeah, no, because we saw her and Buddy Matthews on that ESPN clip.
Yeah. No, Rhea's fine. She didn't hurt her. She very well could have.
So,
easily.
Just to keep up with time, we're an hour in. Let's get to the final noon slate on Saturday. Colts and Texans.
Yeah, we're just finishing up the morning slate. So, yeah. Colts, Texans.
Colts 31, Texans 20. Anthony Richardson... And I'm not talking shit about this kid at all. I want to see him succeed, but Jesus Christ, kid,
Jesus,
you've got to take better care of yourself.
If Trevor Lawrence, a quarterback whose first season was under Urban Meyer, who was kicking kickers, is telling you to protect yourself, please take that advice.
For the love
they were smart enough, though, to get a quarterback behind him that has enough experience that can step in and actually do
Gardner, the porn stash of Ron Jeremy Minshew.
But he went in there and played really well.
I would think Gardner. Well, yes, Gardner did step in and play pretty well, but I would think Gardner, because he's been in the league now a good 4 or 5 years.
Gardner's been around a minute, actually.
I would think he would. Not to say that his weight would carry the same word as, say, a Matt Ryan or a Philip. I'm throwing in long-term veterans,
but
his word should carry some weight. And Trevor Lawrence at the end of the game in week 1 saying, "Hey, man, you got to protect yourself. Hits in this league are harder than you think."
Gardner. I think Gardner's
the Colt. This is. Let's just.
What was that?
Gardner's fifth year.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's play devil's advocate here. Let's just say, worst case scenario, God forbid, Richardson suffers some kind of season-ending horrible injury or god-awful concussion, what have you. Is this not classic Colts?
Oh, dude, it's
how they
fighting Irsay spirit.
Yeah, the fighting Irsay spirit. Hey, as long as we've got,
is that
artifacts in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's all right.
No, Cap. Is that helmet white? Is there a blue horseshoe on that side of that? You're the fighting Irsay.
So
whether it be pro wrestling, pro football, any, I don't want to see these guys get hurt, whether they be young kids or old. I don't want to see guys get hurt. They put their bodies on the line for us whenever they go out there. They don't owe us that, but their teams owe to them
their safety.
Can you at least try and protect this poor kid?
Well, shit. When we were watching this game,
it's like, okay, if I'm managing the Laws Brothers in a tag team match and some fan jumps the stands, I'm going to have my cane there ready to beat the living shit out of them before they even touch one of you guys.
Oh, that's not fun.
An offensive line should have that kind of mentality.
No, like we were talking about it. Like, this is week 2. Anthony Richardson is a rookie quarterback. At this point, you have to be looking at the Colts fucking strength and conditioning coach and going, "Hey, the fuck are you doing? Like, what are we doing here? Like, our boys are getting hurt. Jonathan Taylor's on the cut list because of you guys."
But if they do have to go with Minshew for any length of time here, here's what he's done in his career. He has a 63.2 completion percentage,
which is pretty good
for 5 years. That's actually pretty fucking good.
62 and a half. If you're over 60% in the NFL, you're doing pretty good.
45 TDs to 15 interceptions. So that's a good ratio.
Not a bad ratio at all.
And his quarterback rating for his career is 93.4.
So
you got him under center. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not.
Those are good numbers.
What did we say when he went in? Like whenever Richardson went out and Minshew went in, that is probably the most solid backup quarterback that we've got in the league right now.
He went 19-23 for 171 yards and a TD with 112.1 quarterback rating. You can't ask for anything more than that.
And that was after Richardson already had I think he went 5 of 10 with 2 rushing touchdowns and like almost 60 yards passing. Like Minshew literally took up
6 of 10 for 56.
Yeah, he literally picked up where Richardson left off and was like, I'm not going to let the lead that you built fall.
Yeah.
Like Minshew.
He did what you would want out of a backup quarterback.
Yeah, Minshew was the game manager for that, and he did a damn good job at it.
Yeah. Well, he missed 4 times. That's it. Every time he threw the ball, it landed in someone's hand except for 4 times. It's pretty damn good.
So getting into the afternoon slate, the game that to me, and this is just Cap talking. This to me was the game of the week. 49ers and Rams. I think this game pretty much
being as good as it was.
This game pretty much showed that the 49ers are the class of the NFL at this point. I know we're only 2 weeks in, but if I'm an offensive or defensive coordinator, I'm shitting myself if I have to play the 49ers next week.
Oh, dude. Was it week 1?
This is the most complete team in the NFL right now. They do not have a flaw.
Oh, dude,
that I can see.
Brock Purdy does not look weak coming off of Tommy John by any stretch of the imagination.
I do not see a flaw in this Rams team right now, minus injury.
Yeah, the only thing stopping this team is potential injury later down the line.
Yeah. Minus injury, this is the best team in the NFL right now, is the San Francisco 49ers.
If they stay healthy, they're winning the Super Bowl this year. That is my prediction.
Well, no, if they get to the Super Bowl and have to play Patrick Mahomes, they're going to lose because the refs are going to give it to Mahomes. But they're still going to get to the Super Bowl because I don't think there is a team.
Josh, we'll get to that Browns game, but I don't blame you, dude.
The Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl this year, but they'll be facing the 49ers.
They fucking better not win the Super Bowl this year, Cap.
They're not. The NFL is not going to allow Patrick Mahomes to be derailed by a great team with a great defense, a great offense, a good special teams. The NFL, they are not going to allow that.
Nick Foles is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. We don't have to have it be a good team to dethrone the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That Eagles team was a very complete team, and
Carson Wentz was on God mode that season.
Oh, I know. He was on my fantasy team that year. I won the championship, but still,
the Eagles.
They only won that Super Bowl by fluke luck because Brady threw for 503 yards. The Eagles won that Super Bowl by a fluke. And I just do not see the NFL allowing Patrick Mahomes to lose a Super Bowl against any team.
Well, here's the thing. He doesn't have to lose it if he doesn't make it. If he gets kicked out in the playoffs, that's who's
he going to lose to? The goddamn Broncos, who we are going to get into later, who can't even protect a fucking 21-3 lead.
Do you want to know who I genuinely see taking the Chiefs out of the playoffs this year?
Who?
All right, who?
It's the team that they played this week.
The Jags?
Yes.
Yeah,
not unless on defense they learn how to pass rush.
This week was a weird one. Week 1 was a weird one.
Week 2 was every week is weird. It's the NFL, baby.
We're going to have a weird playoffs this year.
If it is Chiefs and Jags in the AFC title game, and that game is in Arrowhead, the Jags are going to get absolutely ass raped.
We are going to get the Jaguars versus the Chargers, I believe.
Oh, good God.
If Justin Herbert plays to the way that he should,
what kind of medicinal are you? The Chargers are not even making the fucking playoffs.
Hey, no, what did we say?
They suck.
If the Chargers don't make the playoffs this year, if they don't even make the conference championship, Brandon Staley's gone.
He's going to be gone by week 6 or 8 at this rate.
We have somebody playing for their job who has a team that just put up 5 fucking sacks against the Titans O-line, which, by the way, is not a Swiss cheese O-line. That O-line just got fucking eaten. The Chargers have a
okay. Let's say they fire Staley and they put Kellen Moore as the head coach. Let's say
Kellen Moore is not leading him to a Super Bowl.
Let's say week 5, 6, 7. Let's say Staley gets fired early on and they go with Kellen Moore. This is the Chargers. They are not going to make the AFC title.
They can make the AFC title game because they can make the AFC title game. They've done it before. But this is going to propel the Jaguars to their fucking Super Bowl.
Nephew, I love you. You're my little brother, but you are smoking some serious fucking hopium.
It will be 7 years in the fucking making for Jacksonville to get their Super Bowl, that they got robbed by the Chiefs.
No, they got robbed by the Patriots.
Oh, yeah. No, still the Patriots under the Chiefs.
They should have gone to the Super Bowl that year.
The Patriots were
Brady shit happened.
Now. The Chiefs now have the refs on their payroll. So,
and that game Sunday, even though it was a shit game, Patrick Mahomes put up the quietest 300-yard game in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. Like, the Jags held them to 17 points. So, Matty has a good avenue to his point here.
The Jaguar, I want to see Jacksonville, San Francisco for the Super Bowl this year. That is what Matty wants for his Super Bowl this year.
To beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, you are going to have to score 30-plus points, and you are going to have to tear Patty Mahomes a new asshole.
In a game where Trevor Lawrence throws over 400 yards with 3 touchdowns, and Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk each have over 100 yards with ETN.
Still won't be enough.
In the yard. On a Chiefs defense that really can't hold a fucking Lions offense back, Cap. If the Jaguars are on all cylinders, them Chiefs.
The NFL will not allow it to happen. Mahomes is the new Brady. They will.
Yeah, I know.
They will put him in the Super Bowl every year if they possibly can.
I'm just saying, Jaguars 49ers Super Bowl. That's what I
want. If it's Jaguars 49ers, Niners are going to absolutely crush them.
Oh, without
if it's 49ers and Chiefs again, it'll be another close game, but the Chiefs.
Because I don't see the Bengals even making it past. I don't see the Bengals or the Bills making it past the divisional rounds.
At this point, no. I can agree with you there. Giants Cardinals. What the fuck was this game?
Terrible.
Josh Dobbs looked like a prime fucking Carson Palmer out there. He made that Cardinals team of bums look like they had Anquan Bolden, Larry Fitzgerald, and fucking Hightower at the backfield.
This game is one of the big head scratches of the weekend for me because
the greatest game.
It's the Cardinals are not that good, but we know the Giants are pretty fucking awful. But the fact that the Cardinals were not good enough to prevent the Giants from making that huge comeback.
Oh, and Saquon fucked his ankle up early in the game.
This game to me tells me nothing.
No,
everything to me this game is still equal. The Giants are still shit. The Cardinals are still absolute dog shit, and the Giants just.
But dude, at this point, like looking at the Giants, it's all on the defense now. Like we can now pinpoint most of this shit's on the defense because if you cannot stop Josh fucking Dobbs from throwing almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown on your ass.
Yeah.
What in the fuck is your defensive coordinator doing?
Well, speaking of defense, that's going to transition to our next game. Cowboys beat the Jets 30-10. Davey can pick up this reference. Is this Doomsday 2.0? The Cowboys' defense thus far this year has been. I'm gonna put this caveat in there before you answer, Dave. They've played an Aaron Rodgers-less New York Jets. They have played a Giants. They've played 2 New York teams that can't get their they couldn't put their thumb up their ass in 3 tries. But damn it, have they looked good doing it?
Dak
and I hate it because I live in cowboy country.
And Dak is not looking bad right now.
So thus far as the Dallas D goes, they're basically Juice Robinson. They are rock fucking hard. Now the teams they've played, like Captain said, not huge tests, right? Giants were and the Jets offense is trying to find their way because there's no way they wouldn't after losing their
again. That is the team that's on suicide watch. The moment you guys get Aaron Rodgers,
we're not going to get a good read on what they are this week either because they got Arizona. So that's not a test for them either.
No, the Arizona is coming up for Dallas this week.
Yep.
Okay.
And
this is going to be the game I have to decide whether or not Josh Dobbs has been slept.
Week 4, Dallas has New England.
And on the Giants, we'll find out this Thursday because they got the Niners.
Oh, no. Guys, I think Daniel Jones should probably sit this one out. Who's the backup quarterback in New York? Because Bosa's going to fucking destroy him.
Now, I will point ahead, not to jump the gun too much. Week 6, we get Chargers-Cowboys.
That is an actual defense.
I think that game is going to be very interesting and telling for both teams because if the Chargers come into that, the Chargers have a bye week 5. So let's say the Chargers start the year out 1-3, 0-4. They have their bye week. They play Dallas and they get beat, and they're 0-5. Staley's gone.
And the Chargers got a tough matchup this week. They got the Vikings in Minnesota. So there's another high-scoring back and forth.
Yeah.
If you look
and both teams are 0-2. Let's not forget that. Both teams are 0-2.
He said that sounds like a high-scoring game.
And then after that, the Chargers have you fine fellows, the vicious Vegas Raiders.
Vicious Vegas. I like that.
The vicious Vegas Raiders. Davey, that might be your be your best one of the night. The vicious Vegas. God damn, Dave. The vicious Vegas Raiders. You're on your A game tonight. The game I loved watching Saturday or Sunday was the Commanders over the Broncos, 35-33. Even with every possible fucking thing the Broncos could muster, doing everything in their power, they still couldn't beat the fucking Commies.
Patty, he looks so sad.
God, you had a 21-3 lead, and you fucking blew it.
And the final score was 35-33. Now, mind you, the reason it was 35-33.
Granted, we got our ass kicked by the Bills, who are a great team.
We didn't get our ass kicked.
Lost in the regulation after a 21-3 lead over the fucking Washington Commanders.
So, mind you, we had a 50-yard Hail Mary to end regulation.
Yes, I called that, by the way.
And I cannot believe you called that. Go watch our live stream because during that show, you could see that me and Devin, we lost the feed to that game. So Davey and Captain were our eyes. And I was going through a roller coaster of emotions. And whenever I saw that 2-point conversion and what had happened, we should have had at least one more play.
No.
All we needed was one more play. I will go my full fucking Christian arc right now. This is all they fucking needed to beat the Commanders.
Matthew,
I will say, however, losing a 21-3 lead was very devastating. I can blame Brandon Perna for that. I love you, Brandon Perna, but you cursed the dog shit out of us all game long.
You guys were kicking their ass for the first quarter and 3/4. And then all of a sudden, what happens? Denver decides to Denver. And you guys looked like absolute shit. Dude, at least we got our asses whipped, just straight up. We didn't have a chance. We just got fucking beat to hell.
Captain's team got it too much. Captain's team got their asses handed to them all at once.
Yes.
Maddie's team got their asses handed to them in tiny increments.
Yeah, like and it's not even we got our asses handed to us. Like,
you did. It's like, here's some more of your ass.
Yeah, they just kept handing Matty ass more of his ass.
We played down to our competition.
Oh, you pulled a Steeler. You played down to your. Oh, well, I thought that's what you brought Sean Payton in for, so that you wouldn't be playing down to competition, so that you guys would take the talent that you have and actually win a. Oh, but now guess what? You guys are 0-2 along with the Chargers, and the Raiders are tied with the Chiefs for the division lead, motherfucker.
I will say,
as my team is, we are better than you.
There's an insane stat to that, by the way. Sean Payton going into that game was 72-0.
I saw that.
Having a 18-point or 21-point lead. And now he is 72-1 during that stat. It is one of the.
That's what happens when you coach Denver. That's what happens when you allow Russ to move on from the microwave to the toaster oven. You have to keep him on the microwave.
Even then, Russ didn't look bad that game. He had
he really didn't.
He had one pass that went directly.
That loss. I'm giving you some help here, Matty. That loss was entirely on the Broncos defense for just allowing Washington
and that's what I
walk all over them.
That is what I wanted to get to all season and all last season. I talked up how
Russ has looked damn good this year.
I've talked up Denver's defense high and low. Like, we have a good defensive squad.
Minus that guy who's going to be suspended probably for the year for back-to-back weeks, head-to-head targeting, putting concussions on guys.
I cannot even back you up on that one, bud. Kareem Jackson, that was uncalled for. I'm not saying that's what caused us to lose the game, because Logan Thomas.
That was
held on to that pass regardless.
There were a lot more factors that caused you guys to lose that game.
No, I will throw out there. Logan Thomas held on to that football in the end zone after getting a full-on head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet collision that gave him a concussion. That boy just held on to the ball like this and was in the end zone for a touchdown regardless. But
you like stats, don't you, Captain?
Huh?
No.
You like stats?
I like. Oh yeah.
Ooh, here's a fun stat. The Las Vegas, the Vegas Vicious Raiders have the second worst point differential in the NFL.
I said that when we did our preseason predictions. I said we were going to be dog shit.
Yeah. Not good.
I said we're going to win 3 games. Now, I could be off on that by we may win 4 or 5 maybe, but I predicted it.
I'm just happy the Raiders are doing better than the Broncos at this point in time. And
yes, at this point in time, but trust me. Right now, okay, it is September 19th. the Raiders are tied with the Chiefs for the division lead. Once we get to Christmas and Cap is adorned in, you know, deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. I'm going to be watching my Raiders swimming in like a 4-13 cesspool of shit,
Dude,
and hopefully Josh McDaniels will have been fired, and we will be securing a top 5 pick in the draft. Trust me, this is just happiness while I can celebrate it for an exceptionally short period of time. Because between that fuckable twit we have as an owner, that dipshit we have as a head coach, and our team that is basically a game manager, a disgruntled running back, a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and a pretty damn good pass rusher. 53 minus 4. That leaves us with 48 pieces of shit that ain't worth a good goddamn. This team is going nowhere fast, and in fact, we're going nowhere faster than you can ever imagine. This team is fuck. We are fucked.
The only upside to this game, because we did lose and we lost in kind of
there's an upside to this chicanery, this Michiganish.
There's a very bright upside to this.
This I have to let me light us. I have to hear the what is the upside here?
Russell Wilson is starting to look like he did in Seattle,
where he won how many Super Bowls in how many years and made how many NFC championship games and guided his team to how many playoff wins. And
I'm pretty sure he's got quite a few playoff wins, but I know he's got one Super Bowl because that was against us. He has been cheated out of any MVP voting because he's had some MVP seasons without a fucking shadow of a doubt.
I will say him not getting a single MVP vote was bullshit.
Oh yeah,
I will agree with you there. Everything else you're talking is horse shit, but I will agree with you there.
Well, he's got a Super Bowl. I'm not talking lies. Tell me when I'm lying. But yeah, no, Russ is starting to look more. I
have him on the fantasy team, so trust me, I know how he's starting to look. He's outscored Justin Herbert by 2 points so far this year.
That's actually hilarious.
Yes, it is.
Oh, by the way, when I bagged Amon-Ra, I don't know if you've seen the trade yet.
I saw Mims and Purdy for Amon-Ra.
Purdy and Mims for Amon-Ra.
I am very sad to see Mims go to another team, but
I do like to see Matthew making moves because it makes me at least think that you're not going to be like your baseball team this year and finish dead last. You're actually going to try and finish 13th out of 14.
No, I saw my team get its fucking shit rocked by Logan, and I'm not going to have that this season.
Yeah, you get fucked so bad this week. You're basically vomiting cum. That's how bad your team got beat this week.
It was a bad week for my fantasy team. But the Broncos game, in all honesty, it wasn't horrible. But I'm fairly certain Brandon Perna is going to be coming out with a new worst best game he's ever seen.
So let's get to the last 3 games of the week. We're at 7 o'clock. We got about 30 minutes left. Dolphins, Patriots. Dave, I'll let you break this one down for us, since you are the resident Patriots fan. What the fuck happened in this game?
Well, pretty much what
Why didn't Tyreek get my fucking parlay hit?
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Shut up, Dev.
Pretty much what I expected. I mean, I expected Miami to win. They're the better team. But the Pats are showing they're spunky, man. Like, they did it with the Eagles. They're right there to the end. Like, they're not getting their asses handed to them. And Mac Jones is showing me a lot more than I thought he had this year. Like,
so the Patriots are 0-2 for the first time in what a quarter century. If I remember what I saw on NFL Network, 0-2 for the first time in roughly a quarter century. Is that correct?
That would sound about right, being under Bill and considering who they had at quarterback for quite a while.
Well, it's 2023. Brady took the reins in 2021. I'm saying roughly a quarter century. So they're 0-2 for the first time in roughly a quarter century. They are last place in the division behind the Bills, who we don't know what the fuck is going on there. The Dolphins, who apparently look like they can just score at will. The Jets, who we're the fucking Jets. Who gives a fuck about them? And then there's New England. Do you see the Patriots making some kind of a run, or is this?
No, I can go 6 wins, and I'm still pegging them for 6 wins. They're not making the playoffs.
Okay,
they're showing me more than I thought they had.
They are, and hey, I've got we made the trade. I like Ramondre. I like Mac Jones. And Bill Belichick to me is I love Bill Belichick. He to me is the I Ching of coaches of all time, ahead of Bill Walsh, ahead of Bill Parcells, ahead of Landry, ahead of Noel. Like Belichick is the I Ching of coaches. I'm just excuse me. I'm just trying to in my head figure out, because I pay attention to New England when I have to versus when I'm trying to figure out New England at this point.
They still got Jones
and
throwing.
I picked up the defense for my fantasy team this week, Dave. So the defense you dropped, I picked them up because they're playing the goddamn interception Wilsons.
They still got Jones thrown to him.
The Wilsonceptions.
Like he attempted 42 passes. That's still too much for him.
Oh, that's about too much by half.
Yeah, and they don't Zeke rushed 5 times for 13 yards.
Zeke is cooked.
The ball 5 times.
But they got to get him more integrated into that.
Now, Cap, we can't.
Zeke is fucking cooked.
We can't say somebody's cooked if they're not getting fucking touches.
Yeah, you got to give it to him to see if he is or not, right?
We can't say somebody's not doing something whenever they can't get the ball.
No, like Ramondre is going to run, but Ramondre can also catch it too, right? So he's something you can use out of the backfield. But they got to get Zeke the ball more to find out, okay, what do you have? Show it to us, right?
And the Patriots can totally run a 2 running back set.
Yeah.
Easily. Where Zeke is your main, up the gut guy, and Ramondre is either the guy going on the outsides or going, on your dump off passes, or hell, even a wheel route.
Get Zeke to pound it. We need 2 or 3 yards. Get us 2 or 3 yards.
Because he's still good for that. 5 rushes for 13 yards. That's almost 3 yards per attempt.
Yeah. Who was it they had at running back there a few years ago? He had 16 touchdowns.
They had James White. They had Ramondre.
Garrett Blunt.
Garrett Blunt.
Yeah.
Right. If they could get Zeke into that kind of role, it's like, we don't need you rushing 80 yards a game.
Well, Garrett Blunt also scored 18 touchdowns one season.
Right.
You also have to remember that was because Belichick used him in the red zone.
Yeah.
You could do
that with Zeke.
That's why I was worried about Zeke going.
If I ever have to see Zeke do this again, I am going to
we could very easily see it a lot this season if Belichick gets his head out of his ass and realizes that Brady's not coming back.
Yeah.
I think he knew that long ago. Saints-Panthers, this game was basically unwatchable.
No, let's bring up the fact that this is the first of 2 Monday night games.
Which we're going to have another 2 this week.
They were on at the same fucking time.
They were an hour apart, but yes, they were on at the same time.
One started earlier than the other. Yeah.
Saints are 2-0. Derek Carr's
looking like Derek Carr.
Yeah.
He is, but he's. It's so hard for me to talk shit about Derek Carr because I love Derek so much. I've got his jersey in my closet. It's so tough for me to be hateful on him. Oh God.
You're thinking of ever
I'll be
painting in
hateful
the
on him.
silver with
I
a
have
gold
no
stripe?
problem doing that. He had a
Dave, yes, please.
65
You can be the guy to shit on Derek Carr because I can't do it. I love him too much.
He had a 65.5 passer rating. That ain't going to get it done. If you're putting up
No, it
20
is
points.
not.
So that 2-0 record is very deceiving. They went up against a rookie quarterback.
Yes, exceptionally.
Yeah. So, did he throw for no TDs, 1 interception? Like, Derek Carr is the most smoke and mirrors guy in the league.
Dude, no, he is the
Derek Carr is smoke and mirrors unless every single thing is clicking. We saw that in 20. This is the Raider fan talking. 2016, we were 12-4. Everything was clicking just right. He looked like an MVP candidate.
This is going to be,
and then when he got hurt, we were exposed for the frauds we were.
This is going to be coming from someone who's a diehard Broncos fan and had to watch him 2 times every year. Like, Derek Carr isn't smoke and mirrors. He is the streakiest quarterback I have ever.
He's not even streaky. He is
because
he's not streaky.
Season. He brought up that 2016 season, and then the next season he had the biggest cold streak of anybody that put up a 12-14 season. He is a very streaky quarterback. He's got
to call Derek Carr streaky is to give him a compliment that he doesn't deserve.
Oh, come on!
But as a quarterback, I have zero faith in Derek Carr leading anybody anywhere.
Oh no, the Saints are going to make it into the playoffs off of a fucking technicality.
With Derek Carr as the quarterback at the helm of my Raiders team, I knew every year we had a chance of getting into the playoffs, maybe winning a playoff game, but after that we were going to get bounced. And that is not to say anything about the wonderful person that Derek Carr is. I absolutely love Derek Carr. I want him to be as successful as he can possibly be. This is Cap speaking from the heart. I love this dude. He is a phenomenal human being. I want to see him be as successful as possible, even if it's the Saints beating the Raiders in the fucking Super Bowl. I will not be too unhappy with Derek getting a ring. But all that being said, I know this man. I know his capabilities or lack thereof on the field, not as a human being.
So he's a great quarterback to root for if you have the bar set extremely low.
If all of the tumblers fall into place, Derek Carr can lead you to a Super Bowl. But if even one of those tumblers is out of place and the shit gets thrown out, he's not the
what you guys are saying
to a championship.
What you guys are saying is if Mike Thomas goes down for the Saints, they're absolutely fucked.
If anybody goes down for the Saints on the receiving corps, anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Mike Thomas hasn't been shitting for like 3 years.
But he also
how's Jamal Williams doing for them?
I think he got a tutty, didn't he?
Jamal Williams is doing pretty good. Chris Olave is doing good. Rashid Hashim, Ala Falmari, Ala Kasim. I forget the kid's full name. He's doing.
Rashid Rice, I think, is his name. No, that's the Chiefs.
Rasheem Alaga. I forget the kid's name. I'm not shitting. It's just a very long, complicated name. The Saints are doing okay right now, but
Rashid
and they, and let's not forget the Saints by most metrics have the easiest schedule in the NFL this year. So if the Saints have a great regular season and then get bounced in the playoffs, let's not be surprised.
Only because playing 3 teams in their own division who are just as bad.
Yeah, it's. I'm. Hey,
That doesn't.
if Carr gets a ring, I will be the happiest man on earth for Derek Carr. If he doesn't, I'm still going to be the happiest man for him. I love the player.
If the Saints win a Super Bowl, it's gumbo for everybody.
But beating up on Carolina, Tampa, and Atlanta still does not make you a good team.
No. But let's get into the final game of the week.
Good Lord. This game was so bad, right? I almost turned on Raw.
Even before
That's pretty bad.
Before the injury, it was a bad game. Like, this was not a good game. But I feel like the only story coming out of this game is the Nick Chubb injury.
Yeah.
So aside from what we've already talked about,
I would say, well, yes, that is the major story coming out. But I think the other story is how goddamn bad does the Steelers' offense look?
How bad does Deshaun Watson look? Both sides.
I think the Steelers' offense looked worse. I mean, I've been watching football longer than everyone in this conversation except for Dave, and here I am saying this 2 weeks in a row. I am still trying to figure out the last time I saw an NFL offense look this bad.
Dude,
the Steelers are.
It has to be Matt Canada. Like, at this point, the last couple of years has been this way for the Steelers.
We're 2 weeks in. I would love to say it's Matt Canada. I would love to say that, but 2 weeks in, I can't say that because. Okay, Deontay got hurt, but Najee's looked like shit. Pickett has looked like shit. Calvin Austin has looked like shit. Nothing about this Pittsburgh team except for the defense. It's like you have an all-time NFL level defense and a high school level offense. Eventually that is going to bite you in the ass like we saw against the 49ers. Like, you can't have that disparity within those two units. Like, this offense looks fucking putrid.
Yeah, and some of the numbers on that game are deceiving. Like, if you look at George Pickens, 4 receptions for 127 yards.
One of those receptions was a 71 yard.
Yeah, one of those was a 71. Touchdown. So take that out.
And it's the same thing with
Najee had 1 carry for 21 yards. The rest was just
and it's the same thing with Kenny Pickett. You look at his stats. I think he went like 16 of.
And I don't think it's Kenny so much. There is something wrong here.
But Kenny was 15 to 30. So if you're completing 50% of your passes in the NFL.
Yeah,
you have a long career.
It's not the 15 of 30 that I was looking at. If you take out that one George Pickens reception that went for 71 yards, he only threw 14 complete passes for like 130 something yards.
Yeah. That's bad.
That's abysmal for a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, like, that's not consistently moving the ball down the field. That's why I said those numbers in that game are deceiving.
I think this is to Dave's point here. I think this is far more than the OC. Matt Canada sucks, but this seems to me to be far more than just an OC. Like, there is,
and you have to think Tomlin.
This offense is fucked.
You have to think Tomlin is looking at this as well, though, because he's seen incredibly successful offenses, but he's also seen, the Steelers be.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger's last year
still dragged them to a fucking winning season.
And Deshaun was much better.
No, Deshaun Watson made me proud because fuck that guy.
Deshaun was 22 of 40. Like, that's barely over 50%. And this guy's a veteran. Like, that's.
Also, can we also bring up the fact that he is slow now?
Yes.
He has lost almost all of the mobility that made him who he was in Houston.
If you are not getting happy endings on a daily basis, it is going to slow you down.
Apparently,
Trust me.
It.
Yeah, like he rushing 6 rushes for 22 yards. That's for Deshaun.
At this point, and as much as I hate to agree with Devin, the Ravens are the class of that division, because the Bengals, they don't even know if they have a fucking quarterback. The Browns
Give Burrow like 2 or 3 weeks off.
The Browns are completely up in the air, and the Steelers are basically TJ Watt, a now injured Minka Fitzpatrick, another 9 guys, and then that offense. I mean,
all Pittsburgh did last night was a team that is just as fucked up as they are. That's nothing to be overly proud of.
This team the Steelers should be 0-2. As bad as Cleveland played, this team should be 0-2.
Oh yeah, Joey Porter Jr. also being part of that.
Oh fuck!
End of the game breakup, which a lot of people were still calling pass interference on. We had the referees hella prevalent this entire week. What do you guys think about that?
They weren't featured week 1, so they made their presence known week 2.
The referees should not be that prevalent in any sport.
Ever.
No, they should not.
Any sport. You see it,
Hell, they're not even that prevalent in pro wrestling, and people think about that all the time.
Yeah.
You see it in
those endings are predetermined. These are actual contests, and yet the referees, to feature themselves, as Grossi would say, oh, we got to throw more laundry this week.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You just need to shut the fuck up and call penalties when they're legitimately a thing.
Yeah.
But you see it in hockey too. Penalty.
Yes, yeah, you do.
Like,
and in the NBA, it's
like when you let them fucking play. Like, come on, in the playoffs, the whistles go away.
Yeah,
all the stuff that they call the regular season, left and right, now all of a sudden aren't penalty. Just be consistent with it. That's all, and don't make yourself the focal point of the game.
Yeah, in the playoffs, some penalties aren't called, like an illegal block in the back on a kickoff during the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, it used to be really bad in hockey, like games that would go into overtime in the playoffs. There wouldn't be a fucking penalty for 2 overtimes.
Yeah, no, because they're like, just play, finish the game.
No, we don't want to influence the game. It's like, well, guess what? Dude just tried to kill this other guy with a hockey stick, and you didn't call a penalty. You are influencing the game.
You watch this man swing that stick.
Call penalties when they are warranted.
Yeah, that's it.
There's yeah.
We've got a Devin frozen screen.
Oh, Devin is frozen in time.
There we go.
There's a difference between calling penalties to call penalties just to be doing it, and then there's calling them when there's actually shit going on.
Yeah,
we all know. We all know holding happens every play. Pass interference happens every play. These little bitty things that they happen every single fucking play. But when they call it, it just seems to be. It's like.
Or when you
let this, and this go, but you're going to call this like.
Or when they call something that they know they shouldn't have, and they know they fucked up, and they can't uncall it.
I'm talking to America, Dave.
You know something is coming to the other team that is probably not warranted, just to even that out.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, Cap, because you guys saw that I sent that into the group chat. The penalty that was called Gino, it was the intentional grounding that I was like, that's bullshit. And even Gino goes up to the referee and goes, man, what the hell? Hold on, Gino, I'm talking to America. Audible as shit. That was incredible.
I think that should be my new hashtag on Twitter. I'm talking to America. Oh, well, we got about 9 minutes left before I got to go downstairs for dinner. let's look at what happened in the fantasy league. We got Cap being the second highest scorer of the week by less than a point. 144.45 defeated the West Fork Virgins 1-1. Cap is on the comeback. We got Poppy Caesar dropping to 0-2 to Loudon Stroud 105-57. The whole ass grown men defeating Take My Paycheck, who are now 0-2, 131-105. Pet Spade and Neutered dropped to 0-2 to Grey's Anatomy, who are 2-0, 98-88. Team Deach to the Nashville Football Club, 119-85. Nashville Foot Club is now 2-0. Dave is now 2-0 after a 131-95 victory over the Dallas Doormats. And Maddie goes down by damn near 50 points to Logan Johnson, 145-90.
And Devin, what was your game again?
What?
Because I think Cap might have missed Devin's game.
No,
he beat El Chico 131-105.
I forgot he's not El Chico anymore. He's Take My Paycheck.
Yeah.
And
so
let's get this away now, just so I don't have to do it like this time next week. I would like to congratulate myself on my win this week.
Well, we have 4 undefeated teams remaining in the RAWBall Fantasy Football League, the Nashville Football Club, and the Whole Ass Grown Men in the NFC. And in the AFC, Slice of Life, Dave, and Grey's Anatomy in the AFC. Cap is 1-1. Maddie is 1-1.
And I just made a move that might net me a lot more points now that I've got Diggs and Sun God.
So I see, after this week, I see 2 undefeated teams left. John and myself.
This week I play Buck, which is going to be very interesting because while I'm projected to score a shitload of points, I never trust those projections until I see them actually happen. So if I emerge 2-1 after this week and Buck goes to 0-3, that will put me in a nice position in my division, or in my conference, I should say.
What is my probability to beat Johnson?
Right now, you are projected to win 113-96.
Okay, so it's projected a close game.
So, and Dave basically has a cakewalk this week. Dave's going to win his game.
Who does he have?
He plays the West Fork Virgins, who I thrumped last week. But the AFC, I think, is going to come down to Dave and myself, because if you look at the division standings, it's pretty much going to be me, Dave, and myself. And then whenever Dave and I have to play, that is going to be RAWBall game of the week.
Oh,
I think I got Davey first out of all of us. I have him, I think, week 6.
Our matchup will be actually the Raiders-Bills game that you watched this Sunday past. Excellent practice for you for when you and I play in the fantasies.
I play week 6 against Davey.
Oh, yeah. You're week 6 against Davey?
Week 6 against Davey, which better than week 5 because week 5 Herbert's out. So week 6 I get Herbert back.
You know, I will be able to hear the trouncing from up here.
Oh, all the way up in Nova Scotia.
Yep. Like, what is that? Thunder? Like, no, that's me trouncing the captain. It's like, yes.
I traded Brock Purdy and Marvin Mims for the Sun God. So this week's fantasy, I should have a lot more points on wide receivers.
God, I'm on Raw.
Oh, well, it's going to be a fun week.
Before we go, what does the week look like, Cap, for football slate?
All right, let me pull up NFL schedule, week 3. So, week 3. So we have Thursday night, is Giants at 49ers.
49ers taking that.
49 there.
Destroying them.
The Sunday noon slate, Titans at Browns.
Do we
Titans.
have to watch this one?
Falcons at Lions.
Detroit.
Lions,
Saints at Packers.
Green
Green
Bay,
Bay.
Yeah.
Broncos at Dolphins.
Oh,
Dolphins.
Miami.
Chargers at Vikings.
I think Vikings are going to take this one.
I think the Vikings are taking it at home.
Patriots at Jets.
Patriots.
Jets.
Bills at Commies.
Bills.
They just beat us. I'm going to go Commies.
Texans at Jaguars.
Jags.
Jaguars.
Maddie
Colts at Ravens.
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 What was that, Davey?
I said you picking Washington out of spite.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then the afternoon slate, Panthers at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Cap, I didn't hear what you said about the Ravens Colts. Who do you think's going to win?
Oh, Ravens.
Ravens are going to win that one.
And the one you just said, Cap?
Panthers at Seahawks.
Carolina gets their first win of the season.
No.
Yeah.
So that's the first game of the afternoon slate, the 3:00 slate. Next one, Bears at Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Imagine if the Bears beat them. I'm going to go Kansas City, though.
Cowboys at Cardinals.
Cowboys.
Dallas.
Sunday night game, Steelers at Raiders.
Raiders.
The vicious Vegas Raiders.
I'm going to go Vegas as well.
Yep.
Then we have a doubleheader on Monday night, Eagles at Buccaneers.
Eagles.
And Rams at Bengals.
Rams.
Maddie got a few wrong there.
It's going to be
We don't even know the outcome yet, Davey.
It's going to be a very fun Sunday. I know we're all looking forward.
Oh yeah, RAWBall Red Zone is the best 7 hours of my week. The fact that I get to watch football for 7 hours straight with these gentlemen and just shit talk and watch and see what the fuck's going on, it makes my weekend.
Those Monday games next week though, they actually look quite good. So this should keep.
Well, I'm gonna have three guys going in there: Puka, T, and Kyron.
I just want at least one half decent game of the two, so I can keep the streak alive of not tuning into that other shit.
No, we need at least
Like, just put something on like that's anywhere close to decent.
we need 2 of the 4.
Well, eventually they're going to bring Nia Jax up to the main roster, and then Raw will be watchable again.
Nia is on the main roster.
But she was in. That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. So Monday Raw is must watch because you got Nia Jax.
No.
She went in last night and laid waste to the tag team champions.
Oh, of course she did. She's the battle cow.
Yeah.
Moo.
All right, boys. Well, we have hit these.
They should do that. They had Braun with the choo-choo noises. They should get like a moo thing for Nia.
Oh dear God!
Yes,
Please.
Make it happen, Paul McMahon. Book it.
All right. Well, it is that point in on the show where I remind everybody to stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated,
stay out of jail.
Stay out of jail. Don't do stupid things.
And don't forget it's Neck Health Awareness Month.
Neck health awareness.
Yes.
Roddy Strong, we're thinking of you, buddy.
When is it cardiovascular awareness?
Adam, I can't see you.